Good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for taking the time to be on this Zoom meeting. I'm really excited about the lineup tonight. We have some awesome guest speakers, and the things that they have to share with you guys is going to be so helpful for you and your teams and your business. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear firsthand from them. Tonight, we're really focusing on their stories. Christy Campbell and Jessica Cadlick are both going to share their stories with LeVel and their former MLM experience, and did they do really good or did they not do so good, and what are they experiencing here? I'm super excited for you guys to hear from them specifically. And then we're going to move on to events. Vendor events is a huge way to expand your network and to build your cold network. So, you know, we post a lot on Facebook, we share with our families, our friends, our coworkers, but how else do you reach people? And this is a perfect way and opportunity to do that. So Amanda Mancini and Katie McCormick are going to share about their event that they just had this last weekend, which they did fantastic. And then Amanda Elaine is going to share about her event too. And their events are totally different, and the success at their events is completely different along with their takeaways. So we're going to kind of talk about that as well. So we are going to start with Jessica. We're going to start with Jessica right now. And so Jess, if you would just unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Let's talk about like what your rank is right now. You are 12K, obviously. And then your MLM experience, and we were going to talk about how you've really stuck it out. Jessica and I have, real quick, like, not to steal your spotlight. So we did another company together. And I'll let you tell her, or I will let you tell them about it. But we had never met after years and years and years of working together. And then we just did in New Orleans, and it was super cool. And I have to tell you, I think about you and Martha all the time because I am missing those orange mint iced tea, like, that we had up there at the restaurant. It was so good. I think about that like almost every day. So anyway, go ahead.
Okay, I'll get started. My name is Jessica. I'm a 12K leader from a small town in Northwest Wisconsin. Like Deanna said, I'm going to talk about working past the VIP bonus period and my experience with another MLM company. Previously, I was in another company for, I think, over a year, maybe a year and a half. And I just wasn't passionate about everything that that company offered. You know, I used some of the products, but when you're not passionate about the whole thing as a whole, it's hard to consistently share your story. It's hard to consistently post about it. So I joined LeVel in August. And after watching Deanna's journey, I actually bought the product for my husband as a customer. And when I saw what it did for him, I pressed the promoter button before even trying the product myself. Because I knew if it did what it did for him, I could change somebody's life, anybody, somewhere, sometime. So I pressed promoter before even trying it myself, and I don't even think I taste tested it within my first 2 weeks. I was waiting for doctor's approval. So I definitely didn't start for the VIP bonuses, and I didn't hit any of them. So if you're in your VIP bonus now, it's a great incentive to get people interested, and it's an awesome opportunity to jumpstart your business. But if you don't hit them, it's not the end of the world. You have to look at the bigger picture, which I did. And I tried to do that with the other company, but like I said, I just lost my focus. I lost my passion for it. So starting with LeVel, I actually went to a local in October here in Wisconsin, and the guest speaker was Maria Dillard, and I had no idea who she was. If you don't know who she is, she just received the 8-figure income earner award in New Orleans. So let that sink in, 8 figures. But I didn't know who she was, but I knew she was inspiring. And she said something that I wrote down, and I didn't think about it at the time, but she said that emotions create movement. So I wrote that down, and it could be physically, emotionally, spiritually. And it really sunk in January. My upline challenged me to make a dream board, in January. And when I put my goals on paper, I just cut and pasted out of a magazine. And when your goals are staring you in the face, that creates emotion and it creates movement within yourself. So if you haven't made a dream board, I challenge you to make a dream board, whether it's just computer paper and words, or here's mine. I'm an art major, so I did the foam core magazine, cut and paste stuff. But when that's staring you in the face, you wouldn't believe the amount of confidence you get in yourself to share stories. And you guys, the stories are never going to stop from LeVel. So just keep sharing them, because if your story doesn't resonate with somebody, another story will. And that will create emotion. You want to be the person that people think about when they hear Thrive somewhere else. And the way that you're going to do that is make a connection with people and create that emotion within people, just by sharing stories, whether it's your own or, like I said, the LeVel fan page. So the biggest difference between the companies, the MLM companies, is just the passion and the leadership and just the drive that keeps you going. So if you don't hit the bonuses, that doesn't matter, because when you set yourself up for success and the long-term goals, it's going to far exceed that $400 cash bonus. So that's what I got.
I love it. You did so good. You did awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, because so many people get so hung up on those bonuses, and there's so much more to offer beyond that.
And it's hard to tell people that. It's hard to tell them that there's so much more.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I wanted you guys to all know, like, a lot of these guest speakers tonight, they're super nervous. They've never done anything like this before. So you guys watching and listening to them is so important, and it helps their confidence, because one day each of you guys are going to have a big team and you're going to be hosting these Zooms for your own team. So anyway, I appreciate you guys being on, and Jessica, you did fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so Christy Campbell, if you would introduce yourself, unmute yourself and introduce yourself. And she just hit 4K last night. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yay. So she's been doing this since last year. At some point you had enrolled with me. And I'm really curious if you would share with us, like, what really made you pull the trigger on working your business here. I really love your story. It reminds me so much of me. And then your, like, the consistency in working and what you've seen making a difference in your business, and also what going live on Facebook has done for your business and the response that you're getting from your viewers, because I think that has been so crucial in the growth of your business, and people are seeing how raw and real you are through those Facebook lives.
Yes,
it's all you.
Buddy, Christy Campbell in Waco, Texas. A little secret, I don't know anybody in Texas that's thriving. Everybody's in Florida. So I joined Deanna back in September last year. I ordered because of the duo and her results, and I didn't talk about it. I didn't hit any bonuses. I used the product kind of here and there, and then I ran out, and then my auto shipment came, and that one I used very sparingly. So I never used the product consistently. I didn't get to the feeling of actually thriving. I had results with fat loss, but I didn't feel it. So I sat back and I watched Deanna, and I watched her grow to 200K. And that's what lit a fire underneath me. I saw what she's doing for her family, and I wanted the same. So I started watching all the training videos finally after being in this for 8 months. And I watched what Deanna and Taryn were doing, and I decided to start doing Facebook Live videos. That was the game changer. That is how I got my first customer, my first promoter, and that's how I hit 4K. You have to make this personal. If you don't make your business personal and your experience personal, nobody is going to try it. You have to think of it like everybody on your friends list doesn't know what Thrive is. So you have to get that out there to them in a personal way so that they trust you and will ask you about it. I've tried contacting a few people personally, I get nowhere with that. It's all about me showing what it's doing for me and for my friends and my family, and how it can change their life too, and let them come to me. So I don't know if, Deanna, I don't know if you remember this, but I was with you in your previous MLM, and I have done 4 before Thrive. I never made a penny off of any of those. Never got a sale, never got a customer, because I didn't believe in the product and it didn't change my life. So that's most important. I saw a post recently, I believe it was Brittany, that said if you're not using the product consistently, people can tell. That was the biggest game changer for me. You have got to be consistent with using the product and sharing your story. So did you have any other questions for me?
That's so good. And yes, I do remember that you were there with me. So also you had shared with me that how important it is for you to do this business because you want to create a future for your daughter and yourself. Do you want to share anything about that? Because I know that that really hits home for me, and it's probably a lot of people on this Zoom.
Yes, absolutely. I am a single mother, and I work as an LVN in home health, and I work very, very hard enough that I almost made as much as an RN last year. I'm tired of working so much, and you can't make any more just because you work harder. I want to do everything I can with LeVel to make the best future for my daughter and to be able to spend more time with her. I don't want to have to worry about where I'm going to buy a home based on where she'll go to school so that I can make it there in time to pick her up from school. That's my motivation with this. I need freedom to be the best mother for her that I can be.
I love that. I love that. Oh, that makes me emotional. Right? But I love that because there's very few things I feel like that is possible to do that and to create a future and to live limitlessly. And this is definitely one of those few opportunities. So, and I'm so glad that you've caught the vision and that you're going after it. And your team is growing. So many good things happening. So congratulations on your 4K bonus. I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Okay, so next we're moving on to events, and we're going to talk about vendor events first with Amanda and Katie. You guys, do you guys want to just unmute yourselves and kind of like bounce back and forth, which would be totally fine with me if you'd like, because you guys both worked the same event, and they I'm interested. They had a great success at their event, more success than I've ever had at vendor events. I've done a lot of vendor events. So you guys, when you hear what they're about to share, I want you guys to take it all in, but also understand that if you don't sell $20,000, which is not actually what they sold, I'm exaggerating a little bit, which I tend to do, but if you don't sell $20,000 at a church event or wherever it is, that doesn't mean that you didn't have a successful event. And we're going to get to that next with our next guest speaker, but it's important to understand that what is possible at events and to not be afraid to ask for the sale. Whether you're at an event on Facebook, following up with somebody, doesn't matter, but because we're on the topic of events, I would love for them to share that with you guys. So I would like if you guys would tell us about your event. How did you find it? How were you able to interact with people and get their information so that you could follow up later with them? Are they just like openly willing to just be like, oh yeah, here's my email address? Or how did you get that? Did you guys sell samples? Did you give them away? What would your tips be? And what would you do differently next time?
Okay, Kate, are you here too? Well, Katie was the one that found the event, and then we kind of just like, honestly, I feel like we were just like, all right, well, let's just do it and see how it goes and learn and go from there because, you know, we plan on doing more. So I think that for our first event, it was super successful, and it was really awesome to kind of get out of the Facebook world and into the real world. And I know that like Katie was going to talk about that as well, but being able to come at it from a team, because Taryn and Carlos were there too, it was not only like super motivational, but then it was like a learning experience too, because I was able to hear Katie talk and hear Taryn talk and Carlos talk. And in my head, I'm like making mental notes of things that, oh, I'm going to say that next time. I'm going to use that. And so that was really cool. Like it's just a very different experience than, you know, talking to people on Facebook all the time through text message or whatever, you know, getting out and actually doing all of that. So that was really cool. And, you know, we were able to like kind of tag team too. So there were like parts where somebody would ask a question and I would look at Taryn and she would jump in, or, you know, Katie would say something. And so that was like being able to like tag team it was really cool, and like coming from a team perspective. Katie, you want to jump in here?
I'm nervous. What she said is you were able to like hear, I was able to hear Amanda speak, Taryn speak, and it's like you put on a note. The more you talk to people in person, it's not like text messaging. You don't have 10 minutes to come up with an answer like to somebody. You have to do it right away. And the more you talk to people, the more confident you get. People are stopping and asking you questions for a reason. Like they didn't just stop because they wanted to talk to you. They stopped because they are interested. So ask questions at these events and figure out why did they stop, and then focus on that. We're a product that works.
And we had some people that were just there to taste test our protein bars. So like we could easily tell who was there and like legit was asking questions because they were interested, and who was there because they thought we had cookie bars out.
Or
go ahead. But there were definitely some things that I think we learned from the event too that we'll do differently next time. And one of the things that we kept saying was that we wish we had before and after pictures like printed out. And I was thinking like put them in like real blingy frames, like real eye-catching, because that will get people, because there was a whole bunch of booths. So we had like real pretty frames with, you know, really awesome before and after pictures, progress pictures of ourselves. Like that would be eye-catching to people walking around, because what was happening was people were asking us, oh, this is for weight loss? And Katie and I are like pulling up on our phone before and after pictures trying to show them. So that was something that we were like, dang, we wish we would have had these printed out already. So that's something we'll definitely do next time. And then
everybody's a different body type. So
yes,
we'll have somebody that's slimmer that got toner, and somebody that's older, and a man. And men were like, men do this? Our last customer was a man, and he ended up being interested. He drinks a pot of coffee.
Yeah, and then another thing too was the business cards. I had ordered some, and I think Katie had ordered some too, and neither of ours had gotten in on time. So Katie thankfully had some cards that she had, but we should have had them like pre-made. So that was something we were doing on the spot that we'll definitely have done in advance, because a lot of people were coming and be like, oh, can I just have some info on this? Like they didn't really want to talk. They didn't really want to try our samples. Like they just wanted to grab something and go to the next booth. So that would have been something, maybe like have like some kind of flyer made up or something like that to just be able to pass out to the quick people just walking by.
I had those sample, I guess you can't order them anymore, and it gave all 3 steps, so there really wasn't any information on it other than us writing our name really fast and our phone number.
Yeah. But we did get a huge list of people that were interested, and we got email addresses and phone numbers and stuff. So that really expanded our customer base, because none of those people were on our Facebook. None of those people we would have ever talked to or met any other way. So, you know, we had a whole page list of all these new people that without doing that event, we would have never gotten to talk to or meet or, you know, been able that opportunity. So that was really awesome. And then another thing that was really cool too was like, I feel like I got pumped, like going from that, like being with the girls and being with Carlos and stuff. And like, I hit 12K at the event, like, and they were standing right there watching me do it. And like, I started crying and stuff, and like having that support with them. I don't know. It was a really cool experience, and it really motivates you, and it makes you just want to go even farther with the company. And you see, you know, you kind of like bounce off of each other and get each other's vibes and stuff. So it was an awesome experience, and we definitely plan on doing a lot more.
Yeah. It's different. It's totally different in person. It's
Yeah, absolutely.
been messaging online, and you almost feel like when you're online, we're all friends on Facebook. So I see your post, you see my post, and I feel like all day I see Thrive, and it's like everybody knows about Thrive. People don't know about Thrive. They really don't. They walk by and they're like, what's this? And if you say something, talk to them, ask them questions. If you say something to them, there's something in the head that triggers, okay, the people that they bought $400 packages. They bought 3 months of Thrive. Something we said hit in their head and they said, let's buy, because that's what they wanted to hear. So if you ask questions and you get conversation going, it doesn't have to be about energy or weight loss or this. Just keep going at what it does, and something will hit on the head and they'll buy.
And it was cool because you can see their facial expressions. So you could tell what it was that you were saying that was getting them excited. And then you kept down that track. Like we would say something and you could say it wasn't real resonating. Then you say something else and their face lights up. And you're like, I found what you want.
Well, the last lady that Amanda had sold was there originally. And I was like, she was so interested. And I was like, no, we're not letting her leave. And she was so upset that she had to order online. And I'm like, bring your card back and we'll do it right here, right now. She has her computer. I didn't think she was going to come back. And she came back right before the event, but she was pumped. She was pumped for her son to try it. So we gave her son a sample. The only thing I can say is bring samples. Be prepared to give some stuff away, especially people that do order. Give them 3 days to try before. Pump them up. Tell them not to throw it in their drawer.
We gave everything away because the type of event that we were doing, it felt kind of weird, like charging people, like selling samples. If it was maybe like a farmer's market type event, maybe we would have sold like 5-day samples, but we just kind of were doing 3-day samples to people that we could tell were like really interested, or that
we made them add us on Facebook.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we made everyone friend us on Facebook.
If they didn't add us on Facebook, I wasn't giving them anything.
Yeah, but we did end up. But it was good because we, like I said, we got a huge list of people that we would have never any other way. So it was awesome.
This is such really good information. I've taken a whole list of notes. So I really love that you guys had everybody added onto your Facebook. You said Katie found the event. I'm curious because a lot of people have never done vendor events, and so they're curious, like, where do I even find such a thing? So Katie,
I literally Googled local vendor events in Safety Harbor and Palm Harbor, because I feel like Palm Harbor, Safety Harbor, and Dunedin around here, people don't really know, and it's out of Newport Richey, I guess. So I just Googled vendor events, and that came up as a health fair. And I was like, oh, let me click this, and you just apply and go in.
That's so perfect and so easy. Did you have to pay for the event?
We paid $150 for the table. There was supposed to be electricity fees and stuff if we needed it, but it was our first event, so we weren't sure. We were discouraged in the beginning because we did pay for the table, and it was like, okay, nobody's here. And then as the day went on, people showed up. People asked questions.
Yeah, we kind of wish we had the blender with us halfway through.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do electricity next time and be blending up some smoothies.
Okay, so some awesome tips to bring a blender next time, some blingy frames and some before and after pictures. And then also I really liked what you guys said about hearing other people talk about it. I feel the exact same way. When I hear other people explain the 3 steps, or I just pick up different things in the way they say it. And so that is always really helpful because I feel like, wow, they said that way better than I did. So I'm going to say it like they did next time. Or catering to people and their needs. Like you were saying, you just could see them react to what was resonated with them and what wasn't, and you know what to go off of. I had one other thing. Oh, and I also thought it was really awesome that you guys talked about finding that you found that so many people have never tried it or have never even heard of it before, because like you said, in our world, every single person has tried Thrive. You see it everywhere. Everybody's doing it. But in reality, that's not the case. So I think that that's a huge takeaway for all of us. And that's pretty much it. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
I have something.
Yeah.
They were talking about handouts. I actually got these at the conference, but they have these on the LeVel gear store, the 1, 2, 3 brochures.
Yes, that's perfect.
So that's perfect for a handout that explains, and you have room to put your information.
Yes.
I know they discontinued the 1 card, so we'll have to get those.
Yeah, that would be good. for our next one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I did see Carrie had posted about them too, but I've got some on Duo and I've got some on the 3 steps. It depends on the sample, like who the person is. I might send them in there, but yeah, for vendor events, that would be the perfect thing. But also, so I wanted to ask on the emails that you guys got, did you give them something for obtaining their email or in contact information, or were they just like, oh yeah, here's my information?
We were saying that we were going to do some kind of like raffle giveaway, and that we would create their accounts for them and do $25 credits to their accounts. So we did that, and Katie and I just kind of split up the email list. Taryn was awesome and just let us like have everything.
Yeah.
So we split the email list, and I created like I created had my half their accounts, and then I shot them all emails letting them know that their account was created, and then I put $25 credits on their account to use for a purchase, and that this was like their username, and I just made like a generic password for everybody, and I gave them little directions on how to access their account.
So awesome. Good job, you guys. Congratulations on your rank. That's so exciting. And that amazing 12K bonus. Yes. But anyway, you guys, congrats. And I know you guys made some pretty big sales at the table, so that's also really exciting. Okay, so let's move on to Amanda Elaine. Are you on? You can unmute yourself. I'm looking for her.
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Yay, I can.
Okay, I was trying to figure out how to unmute myself.
Okay, perfect. Let me go to my notes
All right.
real quick. So I know you just had an event as well, and so I wanted to hear from you about yours. I know that it was a little different than theirs. I'm not sure. I can't remember. There were so many events this weekend. I can't remember if yours was a church event or what. But anyway, regardless, would you talk about yours and how you found out about the opportunity to get there? Like, I think it was Katie who said that she just Googled the information. Like, that's pretty basic. Everybody can do that. I know for those of us here in Central Florida, we can go to the news station channel 13 and pull up your county and the events coming up, and it's like literally there's hundreds of events. So I'm curious to hear how you found out about your opportunity, takeaways from your event, and how did you get people's information to follow up with them later? Like, I asked them, did they give something in exchange for the emails and whatnot? And then most importantly, why and how is your event successful even though there wasn't an actual sale? Because the majority of events won't end in an actual sale at the table, but it's all in the follow-up. So go for it.
Okay. So I actually started, I think May 3rd was my first day I signed up. And then I did my first Facebook Live on my 4th day. I just got really brave, and I was like, you know what, Rachel told me that this is going to be key, so I'm going to listen to her because I trust her. And it literally blew up that Sunday. And then that Monday, I got a ping on my Facebook that just told me that somebody had mentioned me in a comment. So I go and look at it, and it was actually a woman that I'm just friends with, that had saw one of her friends asking if anybody knew any Thrive promoters, and she knew I had been posting about it. She saw my live video, and so she referred me to this lady. So I had no idea. I was like 5 days in. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to answer it, and I'm going to say I can do it. I had zero materials. I had no idea how I was going to pull this off. I didn't even have a table or a tablecloth. But I messaged the lady. I told her I was in, and you know, she gave me the details. And so then immediately I went to Rachel, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? I just signed up for this. What do I do? So she gave me suggestions, you know, about keeping it simple, getting some stuff printed out. I asked her if she had before and afters. She instantly sent me a ton of pictures I could use. And I just kind of made my game plan. I was like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get a tablecloth. I borrowed a table from my best friend. And next morning I woke up first thing. I went to UPS. I printed out information about Thrive, you know, just like the basic 3 steps. And then I printed out a good handful of the before and afters, because like the other girls were saying, you know, that is, I mean, people want to see what it's doing to people. And it actually was really helpful that I had those. So I printed all those out, and I went to the dollar store, just grabbed a bunch of photo frames. I got a basket, and, you know, made everything le-vel colors. I did green and black, kind of coordinated everything, and just went home, got a little crafty, and put everything together. Showed up at the event not knowing if I was going to have enough to make like a professional table, but I ended up, you know, actually, I thought it looked pretty good considering I had 24 hours notice to put all this together. But then it wasn't a huge event. It was a sip and shop. And basically it was just all the vendors that you could possibly think of: Origami Owl, Pampered Chef, Tupperware, Pure Romance, all of them, tons more. But it was kind of small because it was on a Tuesday night. The odd part about it was that it was at a funeral home, which is the craziest thing. But like, it freaked me out at the beginning to like be like, okay, I'm going to a funeral home for an event. But once that was set up in there, I didn't feel like it was actually kind of a nice space to do it in. But yeah, there wasn't a ton of people there, but there was a decent amount of ladies. I did set up a little basket where I was going to give away a 10-day Thrive experience because I thought that would I don't know if I should have gone that bold, but being, you know, that the 10-day experience is, you know, where most people start feeling it definitely in those 10 days. I thought it was a good, you know, something good to draw people in. And it did work. You know, most of the ladies that passed the table, they did stop. They did ask me about it. A lot of them didn't know what Thrive was. I got a lot of questions from a lot of people. Of course, I was nervous being this new. There was one lady that was totally drilling me with questions, and the Origami Owl lady heard her, and she just came over and she's like, by the way, I Thrive. And she like whips out her patch and she tells her whole story after I told mine. So that was kind of cool. You know, she kind of helped me out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, basically I didn't make a sale at that moment, but I had about 13 or 14 girls that I got to follow up with. One of them that had lupus, she was really concerned with, you know, the medical aspect of it. I told her, you know, I would never want to just say, yes, do it, you know, without giving her the information to take to her doctor just so she would feel better. I got her that information last week, and I'm going to be following up with her actually tomorrow. And then there was another lady, of course, the person that won. I sent her experience and mailed that out last week, and she actually started it today. So I'm going to be closely following up with her. So there may be a sale to be made. But my big takeaway was that I did spend time like in between getting to know the vendors around me. And I did spend a good amount of time during cleanup trying to talk to as many as those ladies as possible, making relationships with them, because I realized that that was equally as important as making relationships with the people that were coming by that were potential customers. Because all these ladies do these events together all around Tampa all the time. And they loved me, which is great. And they said that they were definitely going to invite me back to do other events with them. So I'm pretty excited about that. And that to me was the big takeaway, because honestly, I needed the experience, and it was a good positive experience. Even though I didn't make a sale at that moment, I do feel like, you know, I know moving forward, like what to change, maybe a little tweak a little bit. And, you know, it definitely built up my confidence that I can do things like that.
All of that's such good feedback, and I'm so glad that you made those relationships with the other vendors, because you're so right. They're already doing the same thing you are, just in a different business. So you never know when they're going to be looking for another opportunity that you might not even think. You might think they're doing so good. Like, I promise you, Brittany didn't think that I was looking for any other opportunity, and it really wasn't. But it didn't keep her from creating that door, like opening that door for me to come through. So that was awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so last thing I wanted to just share with you guys, never be afraid to offer somebody, like when we're talking to somebody about product, we should never, when they say how much is it, we should never start at the $150 price. We should always start at the higher price and work our way down. I just had somebody contact me after a 4-day sample where I send 3 packs of capsules, 2 packs of shakes, so they can have a half a shake a day, and then 4 DFTs. This is somebody who literally, her text message, so I walked out of dinner tonight. I had dinner with Ronnie Turner and 2 new promoters, so I'm super excited about. And her message to me was, she's like, I'm amazed. I'm completely blown away. And people are asking me what I'm doing differently. I'm sold. how do I order 6 months? Like, this woman wants to just jump in and order 6 months like that. So I said, you know, you can get 3 months women's capsules and you can get your hubby 3 months so you guys can split it. And she's like, oh, no, like, I'm the breadwinner. But here's the kicker. Here is the kicker. So she says, she's like, that's all we can afford right now. Hopefully more later. I don't drink out. I don't go buy coffee. I don't eat out. Like, we're on a really tight budget. But she's telling me she wants to order 6 months. So that's kind of crazy, because I don't normally start at 6 months. But if you're offering personal promotions, that's fantastic. If you're starting at the 220, if they're looking for weight loss and you say it's going to be about 214, 220, depending on what flavor shakes you get with the duo, and you get a full shake a day, and then they tell you, well, that's like, I really can't do that. Oh, well, that's okay. We can actually start you at a half shake. So that's going to save you $40. It's going to be $174. And then they're going to be more likely to be like, okay, I can swing that. But, you know, just giving them those options and starting from the higher end and then working your way down to fit their budget. But never prejudge somebody and decide that they can't do a full shake a day, or don't talk somebody out of doing a full shake a day. If you let them know that that's an option, then they'll usually go for that first. And when they ask me how I got my results on Duo, I always share with them, which is the absolute truth. I did a full shake a day for every single one of those 30 days on Duo, very strict, didn't change my diet, I didn't exercise, and those were my results. So I would recommend a full shake. It's only like $1 and change more a day. So anyway, I just want to share that with you guys, because I would never expect somebody who tells me they can't eat out that they want to buy such a large package. So but that is it from me, and I think that it's fantastic everything you guys did. Thank you, Jessica, Amanda, Katie, Christy. You guys did fantastic. Congratulations to everybody, and thank you guys for being on tonight. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys.